What's up, guys? Big Papa Drock back with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and I've got the one and only Ash on the channel today. As you can see, Ash, how are you, my man?
Drock, what's up, man? I am thrilled to be here because I've been a very, very selfish collabor. The last few collabs, I've been having you on my channel, but I have not been gracious with my time. So I'm ready to be gracious. I'm ready to to be regaled by the Drock audience here, or maybe vice versa. But either way, I'm happy to be here, man.
Listen, you're being too hard on yourself because I always tell you, I'm like, hey, man, we can do something on my channel when I come up with an idea. And most of the time I don't have one. You're the ideas,
you always
man.
have the bangers, man. You always have the bangers. But I've been telling Drock though, you guys, I'm gonna solicit your audience, even though you don't want me to. Like I really want daily uploads from Drock. You guys are with me, right? You guys are with me. So I'm telling him like to do some. I don't know what kind of content can you do more of that you can keep a daily cadence going. You know, I do the arena. Yeah, but I want to see I want to see you broaden your horizons a little bit.
Maybe I'm trying to think of like daily content I could do around Raid. I find it so, maybe I'm the only one, because I think this is a great way to start this video. Like, do you find it hard to come up with ideas? I don't know. I find it super hard to come up with ideas that are interesting to watch for a daily thing. Like when I think daily content. Why
do you think I rank everything every month and I recycle the same damn rank videos every day?
But I do like the rank videos though. And actually to that point, the video on my channel that did the best of all time was us ranking mythical champions a year ago, actually.
That's the number one video in your whole channel?
That's the number one video in my entire channel. So if people want to see us rank mythical champions again,
man, I am
let us know.
Such a sick individual. I've always been this way. I used to rank my friends in like high school. This is pre-internet days. I'm super old. And I don't think that's cool, by the way, ranking friends. I'm not advocating for that. But I used to rank everything. I still do. I rank everything. Even my poor 7-year-old, like we can't watch a movie without me saying like, what do you give it on a 1 to 10? What do you give it 1 to 10? You know like
you need the feedback.
Does it crack your top 10 of kids movies? I am like a ranker by nature. It's not just Raid, you know? So even though I kid, I love, like, dude, if you came out with a ranking video every day, you get one viewer. You get one viewer, at least, man.
I get a good viewer though. I get a good viewer. I would be honored to have you do that.
So what maybe today ranking.
So that's what we're not quite ranking today, but this is actually a companion piece to what we did on your channel. We did on your channel I think best top 15 epics for Chimera.
Top 15 epics for Chimera clan boss.
Yes.
Yep.
And so it's like, hey, you know what? Why don't we do top legendaries on my channel? And so that's why we have you here today. So guys, make sure to do me a favor. If you're not already subscribed to Ash, or do you even play Raid Shadow Legends? Come on, man. You know what I mean? It's freaking Ash. Like, go give him some love, give him a like, drop a follow, and make sure to check out the video we did on his channel, because I will link it down in the description below. And I think you'll enjoy it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to do the companion piece here. But before we dive into it, this is a video on legendaries. We did talk about this briefly, but I can't help myself, Ash. I'm just going to mention at the top 3 honorable mythical, champions that are really good for Chimera. I'm just going to mention them. We're not going to go into them. But if you have a Galathir, a Toshiro, or a Mikage, congratulations. They're phenomenal. There you go. There's the mythical. I did it. I couldn't help myself.
You couldn't help yourself. I was giving you grief off stage, backstage, because I'm like, dude, you're like, I just want to give a few mythical honorable mentions. I'm like, you want to give mythical honorable mentions on our legendary ranking video?
Yeah. You know
what? I can't help myself.
It's the Kraken inside me, and you know, at the time of this recording, we're about to have a mythical 2x. So maybe that's why I'm so jazzed. I just can't help myself. But
I definitely appreciate the sentiment.
Now that it's out of the way and we've done that, you are the guest, Ash. Why don't you start us off? One of the legendaries on your list.
Absolutely, man. I'm going to go with one of my absolute favorite. I don't use her on my team because it's weird with Chimera where you only have one team, you know? I mean, I don't imagine people use 2 teams to use the same champions again, right? For both teams, right?
Yeah, typically, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah,
sure.
It's kind of weird. Like I like it that way because it's not like Hydra where you need to build 3 massive teams. But at the same time, it's like it gets a bit redundant. You know, you're just like, I wouldn't want to have it another way, but it's weird. Anyway, I digress. I don't use this champion because she doesn't fit into my exact strategy that I use, which is turn meter boosting everywhere. That being said, I think that Riho Bone Spear is just a goat, man. Like I know people think highly of her, right? And I know people probably intuitively know how good she is already, right? Old news. but man, she's better than that. She's still underrated, even though she's rated highly, you know?
Yeah.
Two reasons. I mean, I guess there's a lot of reasons, but really her A3, the perfect body ability. I absolutely love it. It's got everything you need in 1-3 turn cooldown. It's beautiful. But her A2, what you can do in terms of damage, debuffs, trials, but especially, and I know not everybody can pull it off, but eventually, hopefully everybody will be able to pull it off. And in the Firrol, man, in the 9-piece Firrol, nothing can exponentially get your damage jacked up. Maybe a Firrol, but almost nothing can escalate your damage like a Riho in a Firrol set. Even without the Firrol set, she brings so much to the table for single target and cleansing and healing and the whole 9. I think she's just one of the GOATs.
Dude, she's so good. You're absolutely right. I mean, what else can you say? She does everything. She does everything. You know what I mean? And she's so good for Chimera because those trials, you know, trying to unlock all those different things, like that A2 is like, boom, 4 trials done right there. So yeah, fantastic pull. I completely agree. I mean,
she's got the block debuffs. She's got the whatever. I could go on and on. But she's just the best, man. She's one of my faves.
Fantastic. I'm going to go with a champion that I don't have, that if I were going to pick one champion I would desperately want to pull right now, this is the champion, and that is Fina from the High Elves.
Ooh, okay.
My God, this champion is, in my opinion, one of the just absolute best overall champions for Chimera. It is insane how good she is with the block damage, the ability to make sure that your nuker doesn't die in the ram form, also puts up block debuffs, also does increased attack and the increased crit rate and the increased crit damage. You know, if you're running her with a Galathir or whatever, she gets extra turns. I mean, it's just nuts. She increases turn meter fill. Like every good team in my clan, you know, has, I'm not going to say the other champion they have because, you know, maybe you'll end up saying it, but if they don't have this other champion, they have Fina. And the funny thing is, when she came on Prism Shards, I really didn't think she was that game changing. Boy, was I wrong. She absolutely is. She's incredible.
Yeah, she's one of the rare times I was right in this game, right, on Fina. I was very, very ahead of the curve. I hate to brag, but I'm gonna, I guess. Suffice it to say, I agree with you. I love Fina. I'm lucky enough to have Fina.
Oh my God.
How many unities do you have?
Do you have Fina? I am so incredibly jealous of you. Oh my God. She's good. I've got what?
I'm wrong when I give my next one, because I think I use the other champion you're talking about, which I'll say next.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm really curious, but I think I have a couple faction unities. I've got Teox. I've got
See, I'm jealous. I'll trade you Fina for Teox. Would you make that trade?
I would actually legitimately. I would think I would make that trade specifically.
I wish you could trade like trading cards.
That would be the coolest thing ever. Think about how excited people would be.
Crazy.
One trade a month. Would you guys do a trade a month? I mean, I know the answer is absolutely you do a trade a month, but Plarium, if you watch this video, all like 45 minutes of it, you know, maybe consider throwing us a little bone. Trade a month. Just saying.
Trade a month.
Could be something big.
Then there's takesies backsies. After the month, you untrade.
Just the load. You load a champion for a month, and then you get it back. So like the bank is your friend.
And you get like if your champion's better, you get like a little kickback, some gems, daily gem pack.
Oh wow! You know? Okay.
Little economy within the economy here.
This could really change the game. We'd be teaching civics at the same time and financial literacy. This is big.
Indeed. All right. My next is going to be Senna Amberheart.
Yes. Yep. That was the one I was thinking of.
So I use a Senna team, and it's hard. I don't think I have a spot for Fina on my squad. But either way, let's just talk about Senna here.
Yep.
I think she's the GOAT. I think she's the best support. I said that already about Riho. I'm very well aware, but I think she's the best. Just because of what sure, she has turn meter fill, she has increased speed, she's got continuous heals, plural on her A2 ability. She's great in a protection set with those 3 buffs on a 3-turn cooldown. She's got the instant activation, the continuous heal on her A1, which is especially nice with ally attacks as well. She has a revive, an AoE revive, 4-turn cooldown. But really, it's about the passive. She has speed aura 2. It's about that passive, man. Whenever a continuous heal buff activates on an ally, fills the turn meter of all allies.
Yep.
By 5%. It's just turn meter on turn meter on turn meter on turn meter. I actually came very close to hitting the turn meter cap on my last battle. On this
team. Did you actually?
I really did. It was 14 something. I thought I was going to hit it.
Wow.
So I run her with an Androck, but there's other combos too. I don't want to talk about mythicals, but you get that chain reaction of all that turn meter fill. It's just nuts. So yeah, Senna in an area of the game where it's very difficult, if not impossible, next to impossible, to hit that turn meter limit. Unlike Hydra, you want all the turn meter gain you can get, and Senna's one of the best in the game, not to mention the boosting and the healing and the reviving and the increased speed.
Yeah, this was exactly the person I was thinking of, and you're absolutely right. I do think she is the GOAT of this mode. Just incredible kit. So you nailed it right on the head. Right on the head. What a surprise.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And speaking of turn meter increase, I've got one in the same kind of vein, and you're so right about that being so important. Talk about my boy Necmo.
Oh,
Talk about my boy Necmo Thar, right? I mean, what can you say about Necmo? He's got incredible turn meter fill, increased speed. On the A2, he's dropping decreased speed and leeches, which are important for, obviously slowing down the Chimera. And then on top of that, hitting some of these trials with leech debuffs. Oh, by the way, his A1 has decreased attack. I mean, this dude is so goofy great. And then he's got a passive where he's filling his turn meter by 5% each time a debuff, removes. So just phenomenal. I put him in a relentless set. He just takes turn after turn after turn. He boosts everybody. So good. Yeah.
It's a beautiful kit, man. I love Necmo, man. I wish I could use him because of all the trial ticks that you get too,
Yeah, I think that's like the hardest part with this mode for me, which is how do you balance going for damage versus trying to get trials? Because those gemstones and the relic crafting materials are so important. And if you're trying to max damage, you're probably missing out on max trials. So it's really hard to do both, right?
I completely agree. And I'm always I'm sure like everybody else, I'm trying to help support the team in Chimera Clash at the same time hitting all my personal trials, so I find it difficult, but I gravitate towards trying to get this most damage. What about you?
I would say I'm kind of more towards more trials at the moment, like still really good damage, but more trials as of now.
That's the way to go, I think.
I think so. It's tough because you want your clan to win.
You want your clan to win. Man, so I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm off of my clan's off of 3 5th places in a row.
listen.
And it's killing me, man. Shout out to RaidShadowLegends fam. I love you guys, even though we stink.
Hey, listen, you guys are great, and I know for a fact there's some incredible people in your clan from talking with Ash off camera. But I mean, those clash battles are really tough. Us and IPR,
indeed,
we've lost a couple of them because it's really hard to balance between trials versus damage. So not easy. They made it hard. But who do you got next, Ash?
I got Opardin Clanfather, man.
Ooh.
He's like a little mini Senna, kind of. He's got they did a good job on his buff, right? And he's great for Chimera, If I didn't have Senna, I'd probably think about trying to make a turn meter team. I love these turn meter boost teams. Yeah. So I think about running an Opardin Clanfather. He's got a lot of support, a ton of healing in his kit. He's really one of the more competent healers out there in the game with up there with a Wither or a what's that guy that nobody talks about? Truoth, right?
Yeah.
A lot of healing, right? But he's not going to help out a ton on trials. He does have block debuffs, which is nice, but he's got one of those great passives, the paternal. Every time a continuous heal buff heals an ally, fills that ally's turn meter by 10%. So obviously double the turn meter fill than you get off of Senna. Only difference is, and it's a big one, is it's a singular ally every time that continuous heal ticks, not all allies per tick. So it's not as crazy as Senna's, but that's a lot of turn meter and a lot of healing from a champion. So
sure.
I really love what he brings to the table. A full cleanse as well. So it's a solid champion.
It's crazy how this champion went from being, I would consider, unusable in most of the game. And to be fair, depends on your level as always. But, for endgame players, he just was not a champion you would pull out. And then they actually had a really good buff on him. And you're absolutely right. Now he is a viable Chimera champion and can do a lot of stuff to keep your team alive there, which is really important on some of those different forms. So great choice. I haven't used him yet, but he would be someone I would consider if I were let's go the turn meter route and just start dumping out a ton of turn meter on everybody. Okay.
Oh yeah, man. I like him. I don't think he's on the same level necessarily as some of the others, but I think he's definitely deserves to be on the list.
For sure, I would agree. And speaking of being on the list, man, it's so crazy how this guy finds his way into so many different teams in the game, but I got to go with my boy Ninja. You know what I mean?
Ninja.
I gotta have a proper crash out, like Ninja would playing FPS games. By the way, do you ever see highlights of him playing FPS games in Ninja, the actual streamer?
I mean, well, like Fortnite, but not since those days. I've kind of lost touch with Ninja.
Okay, well, you should definitely go reacquaint yourself, because he has some of the funniest crash outs and just absolute, just complete and utter, just losing it on playing Marvel Rivals. So it reminds me of me a little bit when I stream, which is great. So maybe that's why I like him so much.
Nice, man. Nice.
But
maybe I'll revisit some Ninja.
Maybe I'll send you some clips. That way you can take a peek and you'll be like, my God, he wasn't kidding. But I mean, look, what can you say about Ninja? It's crazy that this is a champion that was so impactful in so many areas of the game, but in Chimera, he is a damage monster, and he is a trial monster. So he is both. The HP burn on the A2, the placing perfect veil on himself as well to get trials done. Mm-hmm. The popping the burns to do more damage. The A3, the escalating attack. Mm-hmm. The fact that he's resetting his cooldowns or decreasing the cooldowns. I mean, his passive is so broken, increasing his damage over time. So, he just does a phenomenal job of knocking down trials. And then on top of that, doing really, really, really good damage at the same time. And yeah, the A1 has a decreased defense too, which also is important for trials. So I actually use him currently in my Chimera team. I think he's phenomenal. And yeah, the great thing is many, many, many people have him, especially because Plarium came back around and brought him back into the game. Big W Plarium. But yeah, Ninja.
I love it, man. That was one of the coolest things they did last year, is bringing him back. So I totally agree with you. Good call out, great damage. Obviously, can never complain. All right, who do I want to go with next here? I think I'm going to go with Firrol, man. I'm going to go with Firrol.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to make sure that we cover the basics here.
Mm-hmm,
and Firrol the Barkhorn he does that and then some. I finally got my hands on this Christmas tree, man, and he did not disappoint in any way. He went into my team that I was already running, but he subbed in for Krisk, and he's just absolutely insane. I'm not saying he's better than Krisk per se. I'm just saying that in this case, he was definitely better than Krisk on this team. The 100% decreased speed on the A1 is amazing. I'm getting used to that, having 100%, not a 50% on an A1.
Yeah.
As my favorite debuff. I never leave home without it, right? Then he's got all these debuffs. He's got 3 debuffs. I moved him from a protection into a Firrol set. I finally got my last accessory for a Sylvan Watcher's Firrol. And man, it has made just as a random CTA, I guess, out there, is consider if they have 3 debuffs in their kit, especially if you're already running protection champions, consider swapping to Firrol if you can pull it off, because my damage went up just dramatically, man.
Yeah, Firrol is, you're so
shocked.
Right. Firrol is crazy, crazy good. I did not understand because I looked at it only as an arena set. Quick aside, but my God, for PvE, if you have a debuffer, it's just incredible damage.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts. I don't want to give. It's hard to just give a blanket number 100 million extra damage, but it was.
Ash said it here first. You heard it here. 100 million extra damage.
There you go. Why don't you just change the title of the video? It's guaranteed 100 million extra damage with these champions. He's got decreased accuracy and block buffs, which is really nice. He has the ignore targets resistance kind of built in. It's kind of very mythical-esque there for you, Drock, right?
Yeah, it is. I'm feeling this guy even more than I already did. Wow, he feels Kraken-esque.
He's got the perfect veil, obviously, for the trials. He's got increased resistance, and then he's got that damage escalation on that passive. It's just, I only use 1 main DPS on my team. I think a lot of teams are built that way, only 1 or 2 real damage dealers on the squad. Yeah. And then a lot of extra just trials and debuffers and support and healers and all the 9. So getting that 20% extra damage, obviously from everybody, but from my main DPS especially, is just huge. And you stack that onto the Firrol set on this guy, it's insane. Or a protection if you don't have the Firrol. He does have the 2 buffs on his A3. So, man, just all the extra damage and support you can get from your team with Firrol is second to none.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Firrol in Firrol, guys. And Ash is 1,000,000%
There we go. Say that 3 times fast.
Yes. Yeah, good luck. Firrol. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to mess it up. And it's going to be some kind of horrible swear word. Yes. Agree with you 100%. What an awesome champion. I'm trying to think about who next, though. You know what? I know who I'm going to go next. You did a video on this guy recently because you just got him.
Oh, you're really going to throw me under the bus?
No. it was a great video. It was a
I'm
great
very
video.
embarrassed that I just got him, man. Like,
Listen,
low key, actually, just keeping it 100. I'm like, I thought about not releasing the video and just pretending I always had him, being like, oh, he's the best.
Did you actually? Oh, that's great.
I thought about saying that I didn't just get him in like Marius. I'm ruining your guy.
Yeah,
I thought about saying that I didn't just get him because I was so embarrassed that it took me so long to get him. You know?
Nah. But see, that's the endearing factor, right? You're not pretending that you had him for a long time. You're being real and being like, yeah, it took me a long time to get him. And to be fair, I was late to the party getting him too. I didn't really start pushing to him until he started clapping my ass in live arena over and over again. And I was like, I probably need to get on these quests and do this. But yes, it is Marius the Gallant, and yes, he is, surprise, surprise, phenomenal in Chimera. I mean, this is like, you think about the free champions they've put in this game that are like locked behind quests or stuff. Marius, honest to God, I kind of feel like Marius is the best out of all of them, including champions like Lydia, you know what I mean, who is phenomenal. As well, but like this dude is just usable everywhere, and in Chimera he's just as fantastic. Increased defense on the A3, increased accuracy, so you're doing trials there. You've got the massive max HP A2 nuke triple hitter that also steals any kind of buffs or decreases the duration of buffs, which is important when you get to that Viper form if you screwed up your timing and he took some of those buffs away. I mean, like, he does incredible damage. And on top of that, like he just fills so many trials. I don't know. I love this guy. He was in my Chimera team for a while, actually. It's just the main nuker. So yeah, phenomenal champ.
I completely agree. Yeah, I've had him for a long time, so I already know what you're talking about, Drock. I know this guy inside and out. All right,
That's great. Who's next?
I agree. I agree with Marius. He's a monster, man. He's a monster. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna take a little bit off meta. Okay. I'm gonna stay in the Skinwalkers. I'm gonna go to the owl, Gwendolyn the Silent. I love this owl. I feel like I'm higher than most on her. I like her bird of prey passive, man. It's a really cool escalation or conversion on the accuracy crit damage. Allows you to build her to nuke and to land all of her debuffs. And I especially love the extra turn every 3 skills used. Very cool. She has this this A1 Talon Rake. It's the same as Vizier Ovelis's A1 that we all just drooled over for years back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
This is so good. I mean, I use Mikage on my team, right? And I use her second form just to place the weaken, but I don't want to spend any time in her second form. I just want to place the weaken and move on. But if I had somebody like a Gwendolyn on the team, I wouldn't have to keep switching her back and forth or worrying about having her at like godly 400 speed to be able to keep that weaken up there. Because she extends the duration of not 1, not 2, not 3, not 10, but all 10, all debuffs on Chimera, man. That's on each hit, 50% chance, man. That A1 is so good just to make sure that all of your debuffs, none of them stay off, especially for those trials where you need to land them within a certain amount of turns and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
She brings a decreased speed, my favorite debuff in the game. She brings a leech, great for trials. She brings a decreased accuracy. That's 3 debuffs on 1 3-turn cooldown. That makes her an insane champion for Firrol. She also brings an increased accuracy, great for trials. That is on a 3-turn cooldown as well. She has some weird steel block debuffs, which is very bizarre, but whatever. The rest of her kit I absolutely love. She can deal some nice damage too. She's not gonna be like your main DPS, but maybe your secondary damage dealer. Accuracy in all battles, man. I really like Gwendolyn. I think she's underrated.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's a great call out because you don't see her as often as you should, and she really does help to unlock a lot of the trials. And funny enough, I just remembered, I was like, oh my god, I have a Gwendolyn on my free to play. I need to get her in my team. So Ash, this is actually huge. I'm definitely going to put her in my team ASAP for my own Chimera. I can't believe I forgot about Gwendolyn. What was I thinking? The owl. Good choice. Good choice. Let's see. Who am I going with now? Okay. Yeah, I got to go with this guy. This guy, I mean, back to the damage dealers, back to the dwarves. It's the one and only Gnut, It's our boy Gnut.
Yeah, man.
I mean, just what can you say about Gnut? Like, if you're lucky enough to have him, if you were around for his fusion, or if you got lucky and pulled him, he is such an incredible champion in Chimera. Just does massive damage. Also, again, theme of the video, does trials with the A2, decrease attack. also a weaken, also counterattack. You know, it's hard to get some of the damage numbers with just him as a counterattack champion, but hey, it doesn't hurt. You might be able to pull it off.
I'm
And
sure
then,
a lot of players, a ton of people watching use him, man, though. I see him all over the place.
For sure.
Yeah.
And just like that A3 is such incredible damage that it's hard not to put him in there. And then, you know, the counterattacking passive, you know, hey, not a bad thing to do 100% damage instead of 75%. But for that A2 and that A3, that's all you need. He cooks.
I think that's a great call out there, man. Good old Gnut. Man, where do I want to go next, man? I feel like there's a lot of options still, and the list is dwindling.
Yeah, what are you feeling? What's
I'm going to give you a curveball because we didn't talk about him ahead of time. And I'm going to go with Sniktraak. I'm back to my Skinwalkers. I can't get away from them, man.
Oh, yeah, you and the Skinwalkers, bro.
I'm going back, man. I'm going back to Skinwalkers again. Man, Sniktraak is a beast. He's a beast. He's got decreased attack. He's a trial monster, right? And he just brings a lot of utility to the team anyway. He's got, this is why I love him, right? Because he has everything that I'm missing, and I'm so annoyed that I'm missing on my team right now, right? He does have the decreased speed, which is great. He's going to get you covered with a decreased attack, which I don't have on my team right now. He's got that big shield. I don't have a shield champion on my team right now. I'm mentioning all this, by the way, to just actually, you know, punctuate all the trial utility he has. He has ally protection. He has reflect damage, and then he has a leech on his passive. He's really a trial machine, and he brings a lot of support and a lot of essential debuffs all to the table. So I like Sniktraak.
This is a great bonus champion to throw in. I definitely like this. And it is funny because these are also the trials that I always miss out on. So now I'm like,
right?
Don't
you hate looking at trials that you just can't complete? Like sometimes I find myself looking at my team like, one of you guys has this, right? One of you guys.
I
literally know they don't, but I'm like, wait.
Same thing, man, where I'm like,
no one has a poison? No one?
Who's got the decreased resistance? Who's got increased accuracy?
Yeah.
It drives me crazy because I would love to be able to get the perfect team that does every trial that also does insane damage, but it's just not possible. You know what I mean? To do awesome damage and hit every trial, it isn't going to happen. And yes, it definitely bothers me as well. And so, funny enough, you threw a bonus champion in here. I'm throwing a bonus champion in here.
Nice,
and
I love it.
And I can't believe I didn't think about this champion because she is like the GOAT of this mode. But Lydia.
Oh, man. I have her up on my screen right now. I was going to cheat and add her to the list too if you didn't. I'm glad you did.
I love it. I love that we're thinking alike here. Yeah, I mean, I literally used this champion on my team, and she is similar to Sniktraak, a trials machine. The fear on the A1 for the ram form, the poison sensitivity on the A3, and the block buffs and the block active skills, which is massive for Viper, the decreased defense, the weaken, the strength, and the increased speed. I mean, you know, I said earlier that Marius was maybe the best free champion you could ever possibly get, but if it's not him, it's probably Lydia, frankly. She's just incredible. She's incredible. And the crazy thing is, if you have the gear, you can build her for damage and to do trials where you can actually crit cap her, and she can actually pump out, like, you know, not great damage. It's not going to be the person leading your team, but on some of these trials that can be a little tricky, she can help. And I don't know. I think she's a fantastic champion for this mode.
Still one of the better champs. It's crazy because Lydia, whenever they come out with new content, you're like, oh yeah, Lydia's going to be a beast in that. She just gets better and better with time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. I mean, I guess, would you call her an OG champ? I feel like she qualifies as an OG champ or not.
I think she's OG at this point. Yeah. Yeah.
She's been around long enough, but it's great that a champion like this is still ultra viable all these years later. Because again, and everyone can get her. Everyone can get her if you can do faction wars. So yeah, Lydia.
100%. I should give a quick honorable to Mithrala, who's also really great, but she's not on my list. But I'm going to go back to enemy max HP and talk about Acrizia.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Acrizia's great, man, because she's got the, I mean, what else is there to say about her, right? She got enemy max HP on every ability. She also can bring your decreased defense, which is really nice. And I guess that's it.
All right, guys, there you go.
She's not going to tick off every trial for you, but if you're just looking for a raw damage dealer who never lets you down, Acrizia, I mean, limited play testing, but I A/B tested her with Gnut, and she outdamaged Gnut for me pretty significantly. So, you know, I don't know. I obviously affinities do matter, you know, quite a bit there, but avoid affinity, enemy max HP on every single ability. You can't go wrong.
Also, like, great underrated thing about her on that passive is she's harder to kill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh
She's
yeah.
harder to kill, which is really, really, really big in some of these modes when you're struggling to survive. And I have her on my free to play, and I use her on my team. So excellent
Yeah.
choice.
She's
Love
easy to
Acrizia.
build, hard to kill, a lot of
Yes.
damage. Like
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good call out that she's easy to build because everything being enemy max HP.
Yes. Yeah.
So much easier. You don't have to worry about having crazy attack or crazy defense or HP or any of that stuff. You just throw in the crit damage and you're good to go. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like it helps a little bit. It does, but it's almost all an enemy max HP. And on that passive, if the target's max HP is more than double this champion's, her attacks will deal damage based on the target's max HP instead of her attack.
Yes.
So you don't have to build her with really any attack against bosses,
Yep. Phenomenal champ. Great choice. Great choice. All right, who have I got here?
Who do you have?
Oh, yeah, I know who I want to go with. I'm going to go with Little Miss Annie. Little Miss Annie of the
LMA.
LMA got the buff recently. Still poorly reviewed now that I'm looking at it. But I actually think that this is underselling her for Chimera because she can absolutely pump out massive damage. And on top of that, she's self-buffing with increased attack and perfect veil, which can help you get some trials done as well, which is, never a bad thing. But really, like, similar to Acrizia, right? She can do a little bit more trials than Acrizia can, but she's there for damage. She's your raw damage choice. And in an ally attack comp, she's just coming in there and bashing people with that nasty A1. Oh, yeah, and she places decreased defense with that as well. So Little Miss Annie, I've seen her in some of my clan's higher-end teams, and she definitely can carry.
That's a really good call out. I feel like I need to play her with her more, honestly. I see her in the one shot like Phantom Shogun teams and stuff like that, but I haven't seen her I haven't seen a lot of my clanmates use her. I might be wrong, but I gotta try her out.
Yeah, give her a shot. She will surprise you, specifically if you need someone to just pump out massive damage.
All right. Man, we're coming down the tail end here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I have two champions that I think are like, I gotta at least mention both of them.
Okay.
But
I love that this list has gone from top 15 to top 70 Chimera champions with Ash.
Right? All right. I'm going to go with Lamasu.
Ooh, okay.
Man, she wasn't on our original list when we kind of did this a little bit off air, right?
Yes.
But I feel like she has to be on the list, man. She's very, very, very fast. Speed in all battles, 115 speed. She got the decreased attack. She got the block buffs. She got the true fear. She got the decreased speed. And then she has that cleanse with the intercept. But most importantly, she has that massive turn meter boost to basically set up your nuker to go a hell of a lot more often, right? On that A3 ability. I see a lot of teams starting to use her more and more and more. I look at the teams of the week and the top teams on Hades Optimizer and whatnot. And every week that goes by, I see more and more and more Lamasu teams. Obviously, a lot of that is because people are just unlocking her on Siege. But it's clear that she's a top choice.
It's interesting because when I did my video on Lamasu, I looked at her primarily through the lens of Arena, PvP. Right? And I was like, I really wish that she stripped buffs on her A2 because then she'd be a god tier champion. Like, she's still good, but I was like, I was kind of disappointed. But funny enough, she absolutely is super viable in PvE. You know what I mean? I use her in one of my manual Hydra teams now. And for Chimera, she's great. I think this is a good little bonus to throw in there. Good choice.
Thank you. Speaking of bonuses, do you have any others?
Just keep that
before I give my final bonuses.
Do I have another bonus? No, just give your other bonus. I'm bonused out.
Two quick bonuses. They should be on the list, though. They should be on the main list. And that is Elva, Autumnborn. So much support from one champion. You got your heals, you got your revive, you got your increased speed, your block buffs. She got the perfect veil, she got the continuous heal, she got the speed aura, and then actually Glaciad of the Meltwater. This guy's a real deal, man. I prefer Duchess a bit in PvP, but I prefer Glaciad almost everywhere in PvE. He brings increased attack, perfect veil, turn meter fill, as well as an increased accuracy, increased defense that you can use without the revive.
Yeah.
So trial, support, heals, speed, you name it.
Yeah, I would agree with you that he's a better PvE champion in many ways than Duchess. I mean, we're
comparing to like two like S tier champions.
Yeah,
So
like,
like,
you know.
not a shot at Duchess. They're both great.
Yeah, I was just gonna thank you for saying that, because I know some of the comments like, "How dare you disrespect my lady? How
I get
dare
in
you?"
danger territory where I compare needlessly. You know, I did it earlier. I forgot who on the video.
It's part of that ranking, though. You can't help yourself. You got to rank it.
I know.
You what I mean?
I can't help myself. I can't.
This is
all
great.
right.
2 bonuses, perfect. Do I go now? Do you go now?
Any other mythicals you want to throw in there?
Just keep throwing in more mythicals. I don't know. Is there another mythical I want to throw in there? Let's take a quick peek. I mean,
Shiro? Did you? Oh, you gave him a shout out already.
I did. Oh yeah. Here's another bonus mythical. Aphidus. Aphidus also actually genuinely a good champion for Chimera. That's 4 mythicals. 4 bonus mythicals, guys. You're welcome. Do you have any of them? Probably not, given how hard mythicals are to get. Or how much money you got to spend.
It was the best video on your channel history, so there's that.
That's right.
Some people have them.
That's right. See, we're leaning into this.
Yes.
Did we forget anyone off our list? Anybody else? Oh, there are a couple more. There's 2 more. More. You want to go? Or you want me to go?
You go.
I'll go. We didn't talk about this guy, but he definitely deserves to be mentioned. Teox.
Oh man, did we not say?
We didn't say Teox. Yeah.
Good call.
Teox, baby. Yes. Another absolutely monstrous damage dealer who does actually help you with some of the trials into the A3, increase attack and increase crit damage specifically. But yeah, man, you know, if you haven't seen Teox in Arena, I guess we mentioned him earlier, like you would trade for him. You know what I mean? But we didn't cover his kit, and yeah, he's a phenomenal damage dealer. I've seen him in some of my clanmate tie-in teams for sure.
All right, fantastic. What was the other one?
Oh, there's one more. Wallmaster Thorion.
Oh yeah.
Wallmaster Thorion, who is was he a high elf? Yes,
he's a high elf. He's cool because he brings all those buffs to himself. You know, the increased accuracy as well as the enemy max HP and the block buffs and the decreased attack.
Yes. So great damage, great trials. Can't go wrong with a little Thorion. I love this guy. You know, it's interesting overall, though, how in many areas of the game, enemy max HP has been power crept by, you know, kind of things like Toshiro and insane damage. But Thorion's
like S tiers,
but like insane champs. But Thorion's still really, really viable for Chimera. I think this is it. Yeah. I think we got them all.
Hydra too. I still use him in Hydra with my teams. I think he's like. He's a good auto option for the AoE block buffs, you know? Yes,
absolutely. He's on one of my teams as well in Hydra. And also in, I can't remember, in some other piece of content I've completely forgotten now. It was one of the, he was in my my Odin dungeon team. That's what he was in. He was in my Odin dungeon team as well. Yep.
Nice, man.
Little throwback. Guys, I think we did it, right? Did we forget anything, Ash?
I think it was a pretty good list. I'm biased, but I think it was a good list.
You know, phenomenal list. I mean,
thanks for having me, man.
That's what we think. But of course, what matters is what the viewers think. And dude, thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. I'll be fun and curious to see how this video does, stacking up the GOAT of my channel, the mythical tier list. So guys, let us know down below if we missed any champions. I'm sure we did, and I'm sure you have opinions. And as always, appreciate the support and love. Ash, anything you want to say before we go?
Nah, man, thanks for having me on. Thanks to your audience for putting up with my meandering side tangents as well. And yeah, let's do it again soon, man.
Can't wait, dude. All right, guys, I've been Big Papa Drock, and this is Ash, and we are out.